Hello friends, Jeff here and welcome to my corner. Yes, I know what you're saying. I can hear you thinking. This is the moment you're all waiting for, the start of the B-17 project. First of all, I apologize for the delay. I got a lot of stuff lined up. I got a lot of projects going on in my mind and time got a little bit away from me. Plus I got the attention span of a mouse. So what can I say? But here we are and here we go. Now before we start cutting plastic, I would like to talk a little bit about the accessories I'm going to use during this build. As you will know, in my previous video I told you that I would like to do as much scratch building as I can myself. But meanwhile, looking into the project, getting more and more information, there are so many beautiful sets and kits out there that it would almost be a waste or a crime actually not to use them. So in this part of the build I would like to at least focus on some of the accessories that I'm going to use doing this project. Now I will have my hands full in recreating or simulating the battle damage and the metal fatigue. So that's something that really scares me. I have some knowledge of how to do it, but still it's a gray area, and it might be an issue down the line, but that's why I want to take it slow. I don't want to really rush this project. Again, the B-17, it's an expensive kit and I don't want to botch this, or I don't want to halfway the project have to give or abandon it because I did something wrong. Now I have somewhat a plan lined up where I'm going to apply the battle damage, where I'm going to create the metal fatigue, but that's just down the road. That's a problem for later. For now I just want to concentrate on step one, and this is talking about the accessories that I have ready to use, and also the plan on how I'm going to put the layout, or how I'm going to recreate the layout of the diorama. So without further ado, without wasting any more time, let's dive into it, and stay tuned until I turn this camera around and then focus on the accessories that I've gathered to do this build. So I'll be back in a minute. Let's start with Edward to begin with. Now we all know that Edward, without any doubt and by far, is the leader when it concerns aircraft accessories. Now I have a few of their sets lined up that I'm going to implement into my model. Now I told you all in the beginning of the video that it's going to be a long drawn out project, and if I have to make a rough estimate, I think it's going to take me at least between 6 months and a year to finish the B-17. So these accessories and these update sets will cut a tremendous amount of time of that. So let's see what I have lined up so far. Let's look at the engines. A while ago, Edward released 4 replacement engines for the B-17, for the HK B-17. And these sets are an absolute must to incorporate into your model. And I'll show you why. When you open the box, immediately the first thing that pops out is the quality of the parts. And that's what sets Edward apart of anybody in the industry. Quality, the craftsmanship, the eye for detail, and again in this case it's all present. First of all, we have, I guess this is the firewall, I guess the mounting plate that hooks up until the wing, to the wing. Then we have the cylinder block with all the different cylinders. Now of course these are very well detailed. I don't know if you can see, but we'll put some extra pictures in the video, but very beautifully done. Then we have a separate exhaust collector ring, separate part. We have a bunch of little parts. I can already see in there is the crankcase, amongst other stuff. Got some other little parts that I don't really know where they belong, but we'll find out later once we start building the engine. But I can see that's a very nice crankcase that will pop out once it's all in place. Then we have the cowling. They give you the option, then you have a separate cowling, a new cowling, and a cowl flaps. Now talking about the cowling, what they did, they also included 3 separate pieces that, for instance, if you're interested in making or putting your B-17 on a diorama where you have a crew working on the engines, it gives you the opportunity, or the choice rather, to remove a couple of the cowling shields or leave them off completely so you can expose the engine. Very nice touch. They didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway, so that's a plus. And then of course, last but not least, they supply you with a small fret of photo etch that simulates, or at least gives you the option to add the wiring harness. Now, all in all, everything is in place. For me, this will be a great help, because if I had to do those engines one by one, that will cost me a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot. It's going to already take a long time to build a model, so this is a welcome addition to my build. Next on the menu, and another set that is very important, are the B-17 Superchargers. Now, my model is going to be on its belly, since I'm creating a crash scene, but it's very important to me to know that everything is in place. It's a little bit of a shame that I cannot expose these. It all depends what direction I'm going to take and how I'm going to position the model, but it is important to know that everything is in place, and it also adds to the accuracy. And again, I do not want to cut any corners during this build, so let's have a closer look. And we got a nice little pamphlet that explains how to mount it. And there's not, you will see from the pictures that these things are absolutely gorgeous. The detail, it's so much better than the ones that are provided in the kit. So if you're thinking about building the B-17 and you want to add some value, you want to add some accuracy and detail, then this set is definitely the way to go. Another set that I received from Edward were the B-17 guns. Now, I'm not going to open it up. I would like to keep it protected because it's very delicate. But this is, since the B-17 was very known for its firepower, it is very important that you replace these the kit ones with the resin ones. And again, we'll come back to this set once we start building the inside and once we start mounting the guns. But very well done, very beautiful, very delicate. So that's another must that you should think about whenever you build this model. Last but not least, as far as the resin is concerned, I would like to replace the wheels of the kit. They definitely need an overhaul, and I'm going to do this with the B-17 wheels from Edward. Why? Well, they're a lot more detailed than the kit ones, and as a matter of fact, whenever I picked up the kit, I also bought the wheels at the same time. So I had these laying around, and it would be a shame not to use them. Also, when you look at pictures, 70-80% of an airplane that made a crash landing, the wheels came off. So this will be a nice little extra detail into the whole equation of the drama of the crash scene, that I can scatter these wheels around the rig. So again, the pictures will speak for themselves. Beautifully done. Comes from a 3D pattern, so definitely going to use them. Now, super detailing wouldn't be super detailing if you don't incorporate photo etch. Now, I just want to show you, I'm not going to go into detail, we'll tackle this subject later once we start building the airplane. But I received a few sets from Edward. There is some exterior sets, some interior sets, and they will come in handy. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about this big set here. It's the B-17G landing flaps. And when you look at pictures of a downed aircraft, most of the time their flaps are in the down position. So it's almost a necessity to incorporate that into my model. Now, this set is absolutely massive, and I'm really not looking forward to putting this together. It looks very intimidating, but I have to do it because that's part of the deal, and it will add some extra detail, some extra accuracy. So, but anyway, again, we'll come back to this once we'll work on the wing. Now, when you look at the cockpit of an airplane, the cockpit of the B-17 and especially the interior of the B-17, you will see that there is a lot of plywood present, a lot of wood present in the radio compartment, the bombardier's compartment, the navigator's compartment. And I was thinking about how to do that. Now, you can get some nice results with oils, you know, when you have like a tan base coat and then you apply some oils, you can get some pretty result. But I was looking online about maybe there's some wood decals out there that I could use, and I came across these guys. It's HDW models. and it's from the Czech Republic, if I'm reading this correctly. And these look like the real deal. I mean, this really looks like plywood. You have to basically put them on a base coat. Now they also sell several shades, but I think this is the one that I picked out, and I think with some weathering, together with some weathering and shading, these will really represent the real deal. So might something to think about. Then also I picked up some decals, not that many to begin with. We'll see how it goes, but I picked up this set from Warbirds for the stenciling. There's a lot of stenciling here that is not present in the kit decal, so this is something that I'm sure you need. Then the other one was, and you all know the little Mischief. If you don't, look online. It's a very famous airplane. It was an airplane that was basically shot down a few times, I guess, and they made a composite about it. Half of the fuselage was aluminum, the other half was just olive drab. So, but I later on I changed my mind, so I don't know what to do with these. Maybe I can use some of the stuff, but anyway. Well, I think I covered it all as far as the accessories is concerned. Now there might be a few more down the line, I don't know that yet, but we'll see. Now for now, there's only one more thing I need to show you before we can go forward in building the model, and that is how to, that is basically the layout of the diorama, how I'm going to figure out the base, the position of the airplane, etc. And I will explain that in a part B of this chapter. But for now, that's it. As always, take care of yourself, be safe out there, and I'll see you guys on the road. Jeff V here, signing off.